The Tusculum Pioneers get an interception return for a touchdown. They also get a big fourth down stop at the end of the game. Hello everyone, Brian Staten for the Pioneer Football Show with Pioneer coach Jerry Odom. Pioneers knock off the UNC Pembroke Braves by a final score of 23-20. They get a season best in rushing yards in the game from both Jordan Shippey along with Thurlow Wilkins. Coach Odom joins us in a game where we rely on a big defensive stand, not only in the middle of the game, but also at the end of the football game.
Yeah,
as well.
it was. We should have gotten off the field two times before that. We busted a coverage and they hit a nice. So the quarterback was as advertised.
Yeah.
Very, very slippery guy. We should have had 10 sacks, but very slippery guy. Very accurate down the field. I was super impressed with him. Super glad we don't ever have to play him again, or not anytime soon. But because I think he's just going to get better, and they've got a good young football team there. But you had to make a couple big plays, big stops. There was a little back and forth. I think they were going to try to run a little pick rub concept right before when they came out first, because they got it on us earlier in the game when we were running a man blitz and picked Ivan and got a guy out in the flat. So I called timeout, to talk about it, change the coverage. And then they came back to the little walk-off play where, give credit to our guys. They recognized it immediately when he started walking off that everybody was ready to go. And I think Malik Goodman started yelling. I think Ivan saw it, and Jackson also saw it. And PJ, I think, even got into his gap. So we had a really good blitz call for what they ran. So we were just fortunate on that. And the guys executed and got off the field.
Defensively for the Pioneers, they hold Pembroke just to 20 points. They get the fourth down stop right at the end of the game, going to the victory formation. And prior to that, Pioneer running game was running roughshod for the most part on the day. And I know you like to see that. You like a little bit more balance. But, for Jordan Shippey to do what he did and then have Thurlow Wilkins really kind of have a breakout game for him.
I've said this, we got to get Thurlow the ball. Yeah. Because you see what happens when he does. We just got to give him 10 or 15, 20, between 15 and 20 shots a game, and we've got good backs and our offensive line. It's the first time they've been the same crew for 2 weeks now. Young guys are growing up a little bit. We still got to get better at some things, but I thought they were better in that aspect. We just, Bryce didn't have his best game by any means. They played a lot of coverage, and he got confused, and so I think we just kept pounding the rock a little bit in there, and we got to find a way to stay on the field on third down. Yeah. We weren't very good on third down, and really third down hurt us on defense. It was our worst game. We've been, before coming in this game, I think we were 5th in the country or something in third down defense, and they were 8 of 16. 50%. That's terrible. So we've got to go back to the drawing board on that. But at the end of the day, when you get a punt blocked, you have some things bad happen to you. You get a punt block for a touchdown, and you hold basically what I think is a pretty good offense to 13 points. I'm pretty happy. We stopped the running game, made them one-dimensional for the most part. I think they had 30-something rushes for 60 yards. And if we could have sacked, they may have had no yards if we could have put our hands on that quarterback. I think we missed 5 or 6 sacks. That guy's really, like I said, one of the better, more elusive guys that we've played, and have a lot of respect for what they do. They run good concepts, and it was a heck of a game. And I think we were fortunate, and God smiled on the Pioneers on Saturday.
And smiled on Eli Shepard too. We'll talk a bit more about him in a moment. But 3 field goals on the day, and again, I think talking with offense coordinator Brian Ferguson, he went to Bryce this week and said, make sure every drive ends with a kick. That's all we want to do. Yeah. And then Eli Shepard really answered the call with the big 45-yarder.
And I think that is a valid point, because the one thing we didn't do is turn the ball over, and they did. We created 3, we didn't turn it over. If we get the punt thing squared away, it's probably not even as close. But when you take care of the football, and you can run the football, you give yourself a chance in every game if you're playing solid defense. So that's, what we have to get back to. We got to be able to run the football. I'd like to see, you said, a little bit more balance. Right. But if we can run it, we take care of it, and we give our defense a chance to be on the field when they're trying to score, then we give ourselves a better chance to win.
Pioneers do get the win 23-20. Let's take a look at the highlights of Tusculum and Pembroke. We pick up, I think, after each team has had a series, and then defensively, for your team, you mentioned you have the 3 takeaways. But then on this one of his very first drives, you do get to Josh Jones, who had a big day in the passing day, but you do get to him, and I think we're able to force him to make some bad decisions.
Well, there's no doubt we were free a bunch. I don't know how good they are up front. That they're younger up front on their team, and we felt like we could get pressure on him, but just he's slippery. We couldn't get him on the ground a lot of times. I think we had 3. We probably should have had 8. One of those type deals. But it was a good thing. Come back with a counter right here to Shippey. Really well blocked. Gets 9 yards on first down. Sets us up to second and short. Right here. Trading the tight ends, doing some different things. With that, trying to get movement. Come back and run the outside zone. Really well blocked at the point. He's almost, he's a hair away from going on that one. So I thought we blocked a lot better at the tight end position. I thought both of our tight ends blocked a lot better than they did the week before. Come back. Cut back by Thurlow. You get Thurlow out like this,
He's untouched.
That's going to happen some. I've seen it like with our defense, and we're pretty good against the run, and he's one of those guys that we got to get touches for and try to get him in the secondary, and if he can get that thing going, then there's no telling how good he can be. He's only a freshman. We just got to keep working with him.
11 carries, 106 yards. The long there you saw 59 for the touchdown. Pembroke would respond.
Yeah, they did respond. Disappointed here. Knew what they were going to run. They sprint out. They like to throw that little out cut, and we had a good call. I blitzed right into it. Nick was just a little too far inside, and that put us in a bind. But here you go, scrambling around. We're free on the blitz. We end up keeping him from getting it off on this one, but we come completely free. This time, we do come on a little man blitz. Josh gets free off the initial twist, and Jackson's hugging the back and just threw it right to him. They were trying to throw a screen into it, and with all the twisting and stunting we do, screens sometimes are hard to throw on us. And that's kind of what happened on that play. Huge play in the game, momentum turner. Then they come right back, and we're in a little cover 2 blitz concept. And I think D. Alford forced a fumble. Isaiah Dunn picks it up. We set our offense up with really good field position at about the 25-yard line, and try to get kind of get something going here. He takes off, runs it. This is on a 3rd down. I thought he could have gotten it right there, but he felt like going out of bounds was the best thing, so we came out. This was not the prettiest kick, but it went through.
Right.
And we gave a little leakage up to the right side. We'll have to fix that this week. I thought our right side gave up a little more leakage than they should. We had somebody get hurt and was on a different thing than that, so that was different. We had a new guy in there that struggled a little bit. Come back on offense again, run the counter. Well blocked off the counter read. And then Shippey's off to the races, gets about 50 yards, right here on a run. If he's a little quicker, I've been giving him a hard time about that. Yeah, you got to get some jets in your behind there. Yeah. But he could have scored, but really well blocked at the point of attack. I thought our receivers did a really good job blocking downfield all game. Come here, they call holding on this play. This really hurt us. It was kind of a touchy holding. They gave me Brandon's number, but man, it didn't look like much.
Yeah.
So we had to come back, and we had a first or closer kick, and then we came back and we hit one right down the middle. Eli hits a 45-yarder right down the middle, probably his best kick of the day, I thought, and we were able to kind of extend the lead. Then they come back. Get a drive. We completely flub up this. We were blitzing right into this and flub it up. And so they come back and tie it 20-20 at this point. Run a reverse. We had practiced on this. They just miscued it. We got fortunate on this a little bit. And they drop it. We should have scooped and scored. We call it a country fumble or a city fumble. That was a country fumble right there. We got to scoop it up. There's nobody around. Go score. But PJ got on it, and we're into the 4th quarter now, and so we're down there in this area. I would have loved to scored right here. We got close, we got really, really close to getting it in, but I just couldn't go for it on 4th and 1. I had to get the points.
Yeah.
I really wanted to punch this in, but we just weren't able to do it. The effort was there. The want to was there. I think this is where Bryce gets decapitated, sliding down. I think they get a targeting call on one of these. If this is the one I'm thinking about, he runs up inside, tries to get the first, slides, and just gets really stoned right there. Hit right in the face, and so we have to bring Collazo in, did a good job getting it off. We just don't get it in, but we bring Eli back in, go up 23-20, and it's kind of back and forth. And then now they've got the ball with about 2 minutes left on a freaking third and shoot.
About 8.
Yeah. We gave up a 3rd and 20 earlier, but about a 3rd and 8 right here. We just get beat. You don't know what to say. I mean, it was an empty. It was supposed to go to man. We didn't get that handled right, but then we did come back and at least made a play. Then Thurlow breaks off another one right here. I think we're on the drive before.
You just drive right before their drive.
Before their drive. Yep. This is the punt. Yep. We go rugby, which we finally get the rugby done right. Yep. It's pretty good.
Inside the 10.
Yeah, and so we got them right where we want them. The 3rd and 20, this is the one that was tough on me. It's 3rd and 20. We got to know our down and distance. They drive all the way down the field. There's about 20 seconds left. It's 4th and 1, or I think 3rd and 1, we blitzed, and Josh Force made a nice play. Then they came out, and it was 4th and 1. I think this is 3rd and 1 right here. And we got a double A gap blitz, and we're stunting into the B, so it really kind of closed it down. And Josh does a nice job just closing it down right there. And they don't get anything. They call timeout. I figured they were going to. They came out, tried to double shift. I called timeout because I wanted to see what they did. Now they come back with this, and this is the look confused. Hey, what are we doing? I'm mad. And then they snap it, and and we weren't fooled.
Right.
I mean, we weren't fooled a lick. So great play by Ivan and Jackson to end the game there. And we've had such a rough season. It's really a good team win.
Right.
We overcame some adversity and everything else, and we're still doing the things that we talked about. We talked about the first part of the season and the second part of the season, and we're still doing the things that we talked about. Fight, show up, be physical. We just got to knock out some of these miscues, for us to. We still haven't put the game together that I want us to play, other than really Limestone, if you go back and look at it. But, hey, a W is a W. We've won 2 in a row now. We got Catawba coming in this week, another home game, then Mars Hill next week. Our goal is to try to win our home games. And so we've got to find a way against 2 really good football teams in the next 2 weeks coming in here to try to find a way to win these 2 games. If we can do it, then we get ourselves back to 500 and have a chance to have a winning season.
Pioneers get the win against UNC Pembroke 23-20 on the strength of a strong running game and then a strong defensive game by Jackson Cawthon, who was named the AstroTurf South Atlantic Conference Defensive Player of the Week. 2nd consecutive week for the Pioneers to have the defensive player. And also Eli Shepard, 3 for 3 in the field goal department, extra points as well. He was the special teams player of the week. So the first time this year the Pioneers have had 2 named the players of the week. We talked a little bit about your balance that you wanted and just some of the numbers, 302 yards of offense. And again, 283 of that on the ground. During the passing game lacked just a little bit. So, was it the fact that Pembroke's coverages were really good in the game and they had a good plan?
Well, I think he just didn't play his best game, but I think they dropped into coverage a lot more. They didn't blitz him. They didn't play man. He handles that stuff pretty good, where to get the ball out. But they did a lot of different things coverage-wise, and when you have a young quarterback, sometimes that's going to happen. You know? And I think he got a little bit confused, and sometimes his moving around the pocket's really, really good, but sometimes you sack yourself, and he had some guys coming open that if he'd have just been patient, because I thought probably pass protection wise is probably the best game we had all year.
Yeah.
So that's part of having a young quarterback, but we do have to play better at that position, but he'll bounce back, and either him or Joaquin will be ready to go this week, and we'll go from there.
Pioneers do get the big win against the Pembroke Braves as they win at 23-20. Coming up next, Catawba. We'll talk about that when we return with more of the Pioneer Football Show after this.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
We are in.
Back into the Pioneer Football Show, Tusculum and Catawba this Saturday from Pioneer Field. Catawba coming off the loss to Mars Hill. So it's a Catawba team that's, last year was one of those games that was one of those weird games. We kind of gave it away right there at the end. And I'm literally because of a couple of pick sixes, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, just some weird things, punt return. So weird things that happened. And now Catawba's coming in here limping just a little bit, on the season.
Well, they're a little bit like us. They've had a ton of injuries. Their starting quarterback, I think, got hurt before the season. I think he's out for the year. Their best receivers only played in 2 games, who I think is really good. They're down. I think their second team quarterback didn't play last week, so they played a freshman. They're beat up, and that's going to happen. We've dealt with some of that ourselves. I mean, I understand, and but that didn't make them any less dangerous. We haven't beaten these guys in 2 years. We beat them our first year, didn't beat them the last 2 years. Last year we were up 23-7, and we ended up losing 55-30 something. And I've never given up that many points in my life.
Right.
We had several miscues that gave them easy touchdowns. We have to play much, much better. This is a game that we have to come out and show who we are on defense, on offense, and on special teams. And I know that Curtis is going to bring a great team in here. It's going to have a lot of effort, and they're going to play hard and try to get after us. And that's his mantra. I mean, he's going to have a towel around his neck, and his teams are going to play hard. Those are the 2 things Curtis Walker. I'm really wanting us to worry about us. Let's get better. Let's continue to get better. We've got to establish a run bank game. I think we've gotten better at that, but we have to get balance in what we do so they don't put 9 in the box. We got to be able to throw the ball and do those things well. Then I think defensively, if you go back and look what they hurt us with last year, the zone read keeps the quarterback's feet. All their quarterbacks run well, so I'm sure they'll have some things like that. For that, we played awful in the second half. We gave up silly things after playing very, very well in the first half. So we have to understand that the game is 60 minutes, not 30. And I think our focus has been very good already this week. And I expect it to be good throughout. That we know that this game probably ruined our season last year, and no doubt about it. Had we won this game, we'd had a chance to go to the playoffs, and we didn't finish, and they did. And congratulations to them. They made those plays too. We can't say we gave it away. We did in some aspects because we gave them some easy things by our own miscues, but they made those plays. So, give them all the credit in the world. That's what I told the guys. I said, you can't, you have to go out and take games like this. And that's what they did in the second half, and we didn't. And that's what it came down to. But it's smart. It's still smart. You might can tell. But I think the guys understand what we have to do and what we're trying to get accomplished moving forward. We've won 2 in a row. Our goal is to, try to win the rest of our home games and then finish out strong. That's all we can do.
Pioneers take on Catawba this Saturday for the second of our 3-game homestand from Pioneer Field. Join us for coverage on the Pioneer Sports Network beginning at 12:30. Kickoff will be at 1:30 on radio, 95.5 FM, also online through TusculumPioneers.com and on the Tusculum TV 1 YouTube channel. You can watch all the action beginning just before kickoff on Saturday. For all the folks behind the scenes here at the Pioneer Sports Network, that guy's Jerry Odom. Pioneers take on Catawba this Saturday. Join us at 1:30. I'm Brian Staten. Until next week, go Pioneers.